Like I got on the
Right.
line and they're calling names and they're like, Olympian, Sienna MacDonald, Olympian. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it finally hit when I was standing on the line and I'm standing there and I'm looking and I see the crowd. Like I've competed in maybe 1,000 people watching,
Yeah.
like no more than that. And there's probably like at least 6,000-7,000 people in this crowd. So it's like huge compared to what I'm used to. I'm standing there and I'm like waiting for the gun to go. And the only thing I'm thinking in my head is like, wow, like I'm running with some really cool people.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Airdrie Inside. I am your host, Chris Glass. I am once again here at Rival Axe. If you haven't been to this facility, come on down, throw some axes, throw some darts, and have some of the best old fashions I have ever tasted, all here in Airdrie. Sienna MacDonald, you're my guest today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, again, I constantly say this on the show about how great George Mac is at producing athletes and great people, and you're no exception. A fellow Mustang, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, George Mac is kind of where I started my track career, so I got to give them kudos.
Now, not known for their track program very much.
No, definitely not.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself prior to becoming an athlete. Always an Airdronian?
I grew up in Spruce Grove, and I
Okay.
spent 16 years of my life there, and then moved here in 2016.
Okay.
I spent less than 16 years, but yeah, moved here in 2016, and then I've been in Airdrie ever since.
Excellent. And you are a heptathlete.
Yes.
Now, I have to be honest with you. I had to Google all 8 sports because I knew the main ones. But that 800 meters looks like the belle of the ball, huh?
It's probably the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
Every time I get to the start line, I'm standing there and nerves just like stream through my body. And like, oh my gosh, I'm going to step off the track as soon as we start. Like, there's no way I'm finishing this. And every time I finish, I've never stepped off the track, but I always think about it.
Now, most athletes specialize in something. They decide, I'm going to be really good at 100 meters. I'm going to be really good at hurdles. I'm going to be really good at shot put or javelin. You decided, no, that's not for me.
Yeah, it was interesting. I got into like the heptathlon in a really backwards way. At the time, the like Airdrie division for Alberta Summer Games was looking for a heptathlete, and I was the last person to register. So lucky me, they're like, we need a heptathlete. And I was like, I have no clue what that is. And so they ran me through the events. I had 2 weeks to figure it all out. And they're like, okay, go do it. And then I kind of just fell in love with it from there. So it found me more than I found it.
Was that the Grand Prairie Games or?
Yes, that was. Yeah.
Excellent. I was up there with you.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yes, representing Zone 2.
Yeah.
It's a big country. That's what we just kept on saying all the time.
Yeah.
So, and for people who haven't been through the Alberta Summer Games, it's kind of like a mini Olympics for our youth.
100%. Yeah.
So tell me about the experience.
It was a great experience. It was like my first time like properly competing in track and fields. Is like kind of eye-opening. It's like, oh, like there's a lot of people here that know what they're doing and I have no clue what's happening. And I had to like learn all these steps at like high school track. Like you go through the motions, but then you go to this and it's a little bit more like upscale.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit more attention to like, you have to be on time and things need to run properly. And so it's getting there and everybody's going through and looking so professional. And I was just like, am I the only one that's lost right now? Or
Right. And even the adults were lost. It's all good.
100%. I'm sure there's a lot of chaos behind the scenes.
Did you ever miss curfew?
No, I didn't.
No, that was always a challenge.
I do remember, however, though, like having it was in like a library or something, and there was like the mattresses that were set out side by side. It's like you reach over and you're like sleeping next to someone else in a different zone. You're like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
And there's always one kid who brought the air mattress and was smarter than all of us when we were
100%.
sleeping. You have to understand how small these mats were.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Yeah, and that
It's
was
basically a thick yoga mat.
Yeah, absolutely. A very good experience. Okay, so after the Summer Games, now you're a heptathlete and just learning what that is yourself.
Yeah.
When did you realize this was something that was more than just a hobby or something that you were passionate about? When did you realize you could go somewhere with it?
Yeah, so at like the time joining like Calgary Warriors, when I joined, there was a girl that ran this beautiful hurdle race. Her name was Natasha, and my coach at the time was like, if you can keep up to that girl, like you're going places. And the next year I beat her at provincials, so I was like, oh, like there we go, right? And so I kind of like stuck with it, and it wasn't till grade 12, like middle of the year, where like my coach Les at the time was like, you need to come to Calgary, like I really want to keep coaching you. And I was like, no, like I think I'm going to try to go to the States and figure something out there. He's like, no, stay here. And then COVID happened, and I was like, okay, fine, like I guess I'm staying in Calgary. So then I decided to stay, and that's kind of when things kind of turned around a little bit. I was starting to get faster, stronger. Everything was kind of clicking. And then heading more into university, I was getting injured a lot. And then the year, I think it was 2023, I kind of had like a breakthrough year, and I just like started to get quite good and kind of like ranking on a global scale rather than just a national scale. So yeah.
And that was with the University of Calgary.
Yeah. Like second year, third year into university. Can't remember, but yeah.
And so as you progress in your university career, like you said, you were ranked nationally, and then you start getting noticed internationally. What changed at that point for you? Coaching, diet, commitment, what clicked?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think it was just consistency. Like I was doing all the same stuff I was doing before, but on a regular basis. Like I was training 5 days a week and then competing on weekends and having a little bit of fun in the summers when you have a month off before you start. Track is a weird sport. Like it goes year round because you have indoor season that basically goes from October, you're starting training, and then you finish April, and then you start April and go till about August. So yeah, there's a very short window for like relaxation.
Yeah. So you have to really love it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You have to be in it 100%.
Now, what's the highest level that you've competed at so far?
I have done 2 indoor world games.
Okay. And what's that experience like?
Oh my gosh. So the first time last year in China for Nanjing, was my first experience on a national team. And it was such a big jump because I'd competed at youth sports, but it's different. Like I got on the line and they're calling names and they're like, Olympian, Sienna MacDonald, Olympian. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it finally hit when I was standing on the line, and I'm standing there and I'm looking and I see the crowd. Like I've competed in maybe 1,000 people watching, like no more than that. And there's probably like at least 6,000-7,000 people in this crowd. So it's like huge compared to what I'm used to. I'm standing there and I'm like waiting for the gun to go. And the only thing I'm thinking in my head is like, wow, like I'm running with some really cool people. And I think it startled me, and I was not prepared for that opportunity. So then going into this indoor worlds, I spent a lot of time trying to convince myself that I earned a spot here. Like I ran the time I needed and I beat out people from that position. So I just have to like, I gotta believe in myself. Like I gotta trust it. And I got on the line and the nerves weren't there. Like I felt like this was any other race. And yeah, it was just such a different experience from like the last one to this.
Yeah. Where was this Worlds held?
This was in Poland.
Yeah. Okay. What did you like better, Poland or China? What was the better experience?
They're so different.
Yeah.
And it's like hard to compare them. China was great because it was just like culturally, like it was so different.
Yeah.
Right. And I got to see a lot of things that like I wouldn't have seen anyways. Like it was really far. Like the travel time, I think total was 36 hours with all of our delays and everything. But yeah, like China was cool. It was neat. There's a lot of like just interesting things to see. We went to like a huge mall. It was like 8 stories high. Like it was massive.
Not West Edmonton Mall.
No, it was huge. Like I don't even know how to describe this place. Like I got lost every time I walked into there.
Oh, that's so cool.
But Poland was just gorgeous, like old buildings. And I think the difference between like Nanjing being like all these like high rise like glass buildings, then Poland being like these brick like old town, it was so different.
Very cool. Now, as a heptathlete, right, like I'm always fascinated by like biathlon's always my favorite. Like I'm going to ski and shoot. Like what do these two things have to do with each other? But long distance running, like the 800 meters versus javelin or one of those disciplines, how do you train for basically 8 different sports?
Yeah, it's tough training. Like you said, you're training for 8 different events, and it's not like you can't focus on one more than another. You have to give them all the proper attention. And that's where I kind of lean on like my coaches. So like right now, my coach James, we have like a pretty specific, like he'll make the program and I trust it 100% in what he's building. Right. It's like as a coach, like a coach athlete relationship, like you have to trust your coach. Right. It's like if you don't have that trust, it's not going to work. But basically like my training schedule, like 5 days a week, and then I lift 3 times a week and do usually 2 to 3 events per practice.
Okay.
Mostly technical work. So if I'm doing hurdles, I'll do like block starts over 3 hurdles, and I'll do that like 5 or 6 times. Then I'll go on to high jump drills, and it's just like it's very tedious, very repetitive work, but it all like it makes sense in the end. But as you're doing it, you're like, why am I doing all this? Like, what? This makes no sense.
That's part of the drive though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Do you have one that you prefer over others?
Yeah, I definitely say hurdles and long jump are probably more on like the strong side for me, and I think I prefer them because I'm good at them. I mean, I don't like doing things that I'm bad at. So,
of course.
Right. But yeah, definitely hurdles and long jump.
Very cool. So walk me through one of these events where you go to the Worlds. If you're running 100 meters, you might run 3 times. You qualify, then you get to the semis, quarters, whatever, and then you in the gold medal. For you, you're competing for almost the whole time, or is it compressed? Like, do you do 1 or 2 events a day, or?
So indoor Worlds is the Pent. So the pentathlon for indoor Worlds, and that's the 5 events in like we'll say a 7-hour time span. It differs depending on like where you are. There's usually half an hour in between each event, just like as a rest for the girls. This year for indoor Worlds, I went for just hurdles, which is kind of crazy because it's not my main event. So I mean, I give myself grace every time I get up there because I'm like, you do this for fun. This is like a side quest, but like, yeah.
The competitive in nature isn't there. You feel it no matter what.
100%. Yeah. It's like you get there and it's like, you want to beat these girls, but these girls train for hurdles like 7 days a week and that's it.
And
right.
That's all. You can throw a javelin further than any of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully. Who knows? Maybe there's some girls in there that are just like popping off in random events that they just don't do.
Now, I was doing research for this podcast, and the heptathletes, there's some iconic women who have done this event. Like Jackie Joyner, I mean, some giant names. Yeah. So who do you look up to in the sport?
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you asked this because I was asked in an interview once when I was in the States about Brianthi Sneaton.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're like, oh, like one day, like you could be the next Brianthi Sneaton. And I was like, yeah. And at the time I had no concept of like who she was or anything. And I was like agreeing. And I was like, sure. Yeah. Right. Like,
I'm just trying to be me.
Yeah. Like I didn't want to look stupid on this like interview. So I was like, sure, smiling. And then like I looked her up later and I was like, oh my gosh, like, if I could be her, that'd be crazy. Right. And like Canada's had some amazing heptathletes. There's like a lot of girls. Like I competed against Anna Hall last summer, and just like seeing her on the track and the presence that she brings, it's insane. Like there's no one else in sport in track and field that like can bring that aura. Yeah.
That's so cool.
I mean, there's a couple, but on the female side, she's definitely one that I like look up to. And it's like, wow. Yeah.
And someday somebody's going to be saying that they want to be the next Sienna MacDonald. So that's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's also scary, like trying to like path that out. It's like, oh, people are going to be looking up to me. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah, it's stressful too. That's a lot of stress.
So you're wearing your Team Canada colors.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what it's like to represent the country you grew up in.
It's amazing. Honestly, I love the opportunity AC Athletics Canada has given me. Like, they don't have to take certain athletes to these events, and they kind of get to pick and choose. So being able to like get in and represent Canada and try to run the best that I can it's a huge honor.
Right. And what's the next step for you?
I leave for California tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got this in then.
Yeah. So I have a training camp with Athletics Canada, and that'll be a 10-day training camp. And then I come back and I'll get focused up for some local meets here in Calgary, and then head to Austria end of May to do my first heptathlon of the season.
Okay.
And then I'll come back, hopefully go to Pan Ams. I'm trying to make that team. And then Commonwealth at the end of the summer.
And where are you currently ranked?
For the HEP, I want to say it's within the top 40,
That's
believe.
crazy. In the world.
The last time I checked, yeah, that could change. That could
Depending how
change.
Yeah, okay.
I think those were based off last year's rankings. I think last year, I finished 48th, I think was my ranking.
Very cool. So what would you say to athletes that are watching you? Like you're first of all, I forgot to mention that you're on the wall here in Airdrie, which is amazing. I had the privilege in my current role. I'm a city councilor, and we just got to vote on the new people that are going on that wall.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to see the new people.
Yeah, and it's really neat to see some of the names and some of the kids that I've coached against, actually, not ones I've coached this time. But what's it like to be honored by your city?
No, it was really cool. Like, I remember going and them like unveiling the plaques when they first got put up, and it's funny because at the time I had a buzz cut. So looking back,
there's a story there.
I don't know why I got a buzz cut, but I thought it was in the moment. You know, when people are like, you got to shave your head once. This was kind of my moment, right?
Full disclosure, by the time this is recorded, everybody will see it, but I might have challenged somebody at the Ride of the Mustang this year to raise a certain amount of money, and I thought the amount was going to be higher than they were able to do.
Oh my gosh. And
one of my council colleagues, shout out Chad Stewart, put an Instagram out, and all of a sudden the money came in, and I'm going to lose my hair next week. So I'm getting a buzz cut. So I'm trying to grow it out so it has better effect.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love it. I mean, it's for a good cause,
right?
So it's worth it.
You got to support the Ride of the Mustang.
Exactly.
It's a great cause. Okay, so you had a buzz cut, but you're still on the wall.
Yes. Yeah. So that it was honestly, it was like such an honor, and I got like put up there, and like my family and friends came out to support. It was such a fun environment. Every time I walk past it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. I keep bugging them. I was like, I think I've some more accomplishments to add to that list now that it's up there.
That's great. What's the ultimate goal here? Obviously the Olympics is on everybody's mind. What does that look like?
Yeah, so that is the ultimate goal. The dream would be to make it into the Olympics for preferably the heptathlon, but I would enjoy doing both hurdles and the hep if it does work.
Right.
It's hard with the heptathlon because they only take top 14 in the world, so it's very slim.
Very competitive.
Yeah. Whereas hurdles, they take top 48, so there's a little bit more room to try to squeeze in, right?
Right.
So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. But my 2027 year is going to be crazy for travel. All the meets that I have to go to, it's a weird system, and it's a tricky one that you have to figure out, but there's certain meets that are worth more points, and getting into the Olympics, you have to have points.
The points. Yeah.
So yeah, I have to go to some meets, probably mostly in Europe and the States, to try to gain some points to make for the Olympics.
Now, talk to me about the funding for the travel. Is this Track and Field Canada, or is this you or sponsors? Like, how do you pay for all this travel?
Yeah, so Athletics Canada, like as a carded athlete, I do get a little bit from Athletics Canada to continue sport and do what I'm doing. However, most of it is right now self-funded. Hopefully, eventually, it'll be a little bit more heavy on the sponsorships, but
right.
I'm not the best at selling myself, so it's been tough.
So if we have any sponsors listening, let's give them their best sales pitch. Why should they back Sienna MacDonald here?
Oh, that's a great question. I think if they're local, if they're Airdrie, like I grew up here. I've represented Airdrie as long as I've been here, and I love it here. And
right.
I'm trying to make my dream come true. And if I can inspire people along the way, then it's big, right? And my goal is to, yes, make the Olympics, but it's to like build a community as I'm making it there.
Right. So you're a good bet.
I would like to think so. I'm not gonna like shoot myself in the foot or anything, but yeah.
That's great. Tell me, what would you say to athletes in high school or athletes that are starting out in track and field? What's some advice you could give the next generation? I know it's weird, you're young, but there's another generation behind you coming up. What would you tell them?
I honestly just keep trying things. Like,
yeah.
I didn't come into track on my first sport. Like, this wasn't the first thing that I tried. I've gone through probably at least 10 different sports to get here, right? And part of being a great athlete is being able to like adapt to changes and adapt to like different outcomes, right? So if you're going and doing one sport, like I would say the best athletes are the athletes that can play any sport, right?
You're the second person today that we've had say
Yes.
that on camera. One of them was a professional hockey player who said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like specialization is almost killing the joy out of a lot of athletes' experiences. So
100%.
it's interesting to hear two high-powered athletes say the same thing. That's crazy.
Well, like it is exactly that, right? Like if you specialize too early, like there's just fundamentals. Like if you watch like a hockey player, if you watch them try to run, like you can tell it's a hockey player running, right? It's just like sometimes specializing too early is almost like harming that athletic ability, whereas like kind of branching out and doing not as many things as you can, because you don't want to like tire yourself out, but just trying different things.
Yeah. You know, I found some of the best football players are those well-rounded athletes that do other sports, especially track and field. I mean, learning how to sprint and learning how to run is different from just being fast.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can make up a lot with technique and training. And I've always been amazed by, you know, you send them away for a sprint camp and they come back and I'm like, oh, different football player.
Like, where'd this guy come from?
Yeah, wait a minute. You know, that's maybe something we should be investing more time in.
Yeah, I used to train at the same time as the football guys at the U of C every day. Oh my gosh. I watched them do hurdle mobility and running drills and I was like, oh, these are probably some of the most inflexible men I've ever seen in my life. But it's great because they're branching out into other types of training to make sure that they're getting what they need for football, right?
Yeah, exactly. Last couple of questions for you. When we're talking about the heptathlon, we talked about your favorite. What's the least favorite? I had a guess early on, but let's hear it.
Yeah, so it's definitely the 800. Like I said earlier, it is the bane of my existence. But I think besides the 800, I'd have to choose high jump. And it's a love-hate relationship, right? Because it either goes insanely well or it like every crashes, burns, like everything goes wrong. So yeah, that'd probably be my balance.
So feast or famine with high jump and then just torture with the 800.
Yeah, the 800 is pure torture. Like you finish 6 events and then they're like, yeah, you know what? Like, let's go make you do some endurance. Like, then most, like, I don't train for. Like, the most I train for an 800 is, like, some longer, and by longer, I mean, like, a maximum, like, 400-meter jog.
It seems pretty insidious because it's not the endurance running of, like, endurance runners.
Yeah.
Right, where that's a different model altogether. But it's not sprinting. It's like smack dab in the middle, right? Designed to break you mentally.
Yeah, it honestly is. It's a tough race, and like I feel bad for the decathlon guys doing the 1500 because I couldn't imagine doing that. But you're right. It's not an endurance race. Like it's a sprint, and like World Athletics is like made it a sprint. They classify it as a sprint. So when you're watching, it's like these guys are running 145 for the 800, which is insane. The girls are running 2 flat, like usually lower if they're like focused on the 800 itself. This is torture for like the heptathletes.
Now, how much strategy goes into which event do you focus on, right? Because you know, if you're an endurance runner, that 800 is probably your most important. If you're a jumping bean, you know, like that long jump and might be the way to go, right?
Yeah.
So how do you pick when to, like, this one's really important, this one I'm looking to place, as opposed to, spend all my energy on, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How much strategy goes into that?
I feel like a lot of strategy, and it's mostly based on the athlete themselves, right?
Okay.
So like for me personally, I'm like a speed and power, right? I'm not meant for the endurance, and I don't have a lot of height, right? I'm quite short, especially compared to a lot of the girls that I compete with. So
I think you're average height. You're about the same height as me. I think there's nothing wrong with the height you're at. I think you're good. I think it's a nice height. But anyway, keep going.
Thank you. Yeah. No, you are right. I am average height, but like as an athlete lining up against the girls, I'm like 6'2" girl beside me there, 6 foot there. I'm like, God, I like with my shoes, maybe I'm 5'7". Right. So I have to make up for what I lack in height with other things. And what I am good at is speed and power. Right. So where I try to make up points is hurdles, the 200, long jump, javelin. Those are kind of the ones that I can play around with a little bit more. And then everything else is just making sure that I'm not bad at them, right?
Yeah, so, making sure it doesn't take you out of it.
Exactly, right? Like when you think of a heptathlon, the way I've been told is you want your score sheet to almost look flat across the 7 events, right? So if you have a hurdle race that's worth like 1,000 points, and then you have shot put that's worth like 800, that's a huge gap, right? So if your hurdles are 1,000, you want your shot put to be like pretty near close to that.
Try to minimize the
peaks and valleys. Exactly.
Wow. So you're basically the generalist of track and field. I love it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's hard. Like the heptathlon is so weird because most of the girls could compete in individual events if they wanted to.
Right.
Like I just went to Indoor Worlds for hurdles, right? And Anna Hall could, if she really wanted to, could run an 800, right? Like,
no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's done a 4s. She's done long jump open. Like there's so many events. Like she jumps 195 for high jump, right? So it's one of those things where a lot of the athletes in the heptathlon could pick and choose at least a few events that they could kind of like go into an open category and do okay. Like they wouldn't win anything, but they do place quite well. Yeah.
Crazy. Where can people follow along on your journey here? Like, you want to give me your social shout out so people can make sure they're following the Sienna MacDonald story?
Yeah, I kept it pretty simple. My Instagram handle is quite literally sienna.macdonald. So I kept it nice and easy so that I'd be easy to find. And honestly, that's where I post most of my stuff. If not that, probably my mom's Facebook.
All right. That's really endearing. Your mom made the podcast. I love it. Sienna, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been my honor, and it's great to have one of Airdrie's most elite athletes. You're on the wall, I can say it, and a fellow Mustang. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is a pleasure.
Perfect. And thank you for being with us here on Airdrie Inside. We're going to be back with more great episodes coming up shortly.